Hello, my dear friends. Did you know that there are different types of clocks? Some clocks look like this, and some look like this. Today, we will learn the names of these clocks, and we will learn how to read them. Are you ready? Let's begin. Let's begin with this clock. This type of clock is known as an analog clock. It has hands. The short hand is known as the hour hand, and these hands move around the numbers on the clock. The long hand is known as the minute hand, which is numbered from 1 to 12. Now that we know the name of this clock, say it with me. Correct. An analog clock. And we also know what this clock is made of. Say with me. Good job. Numbers and hands. There is a short hand called? Correct. The hour hand. And the long hand is called? Good job. The minute hand. Now, let's learn how to read time. Let's go. When we read time, we begin with the short hand, the hour hand. Which number is the right hand on? Correct, the number 3. So the hour is 3. Then we read the long hand, the minute hand. Where is it? Here it is. Good job. Which number is it at? The number 12. So we say sharp. The time is 3 sharp. When the minute hand is at the 12, we read the time as the hour alone. So the time is 3 sharp. Let's read another clock. How do we read this clock? Good job. We first look at the short hand, which is the hour hand. Which number is it on? Correct. It is the number 4. So we say the hour is 4. Then we read the long hand, which is the minute hand. Which number is it on? Where is it? Here it is. The number is 12. So we say sharp. The time is 4 sharp. Now, let's read this clock. What do you see? Great work. The two hands are at the 12. So, how would we read this? Correct. We first look at the short hand, the hour hand. Which number is it at? Correct. It is at the 12. So the hour is 12. We then read the long hand, the minute hand. Where is it at? Here it is. What number is it at? The number 12. So we say sharp. This clock reads 12 sharp. Now, how do we read the time when the long hand or the minute hand has moved? Notice that it is now at the number. Let's find out. Let's look at this clock. What do you notice? Yes, correct. The long hand or the minute hand is at the number. So, how do we read this? Good job! We will first look at the short hand, the hour hand. Which number is it at? Correct. It is at the number 1. So the hour is 1. Now, let's read the long hand, the minute hand. Where is it at? Here it is. Which number is it at? The number 3. We read this as a quarter past. So the time is a quarter past 1. Now, how do we read this clock? Good job! We will first read the short hand, the hour hand. Which number is it at? Correct, the number 6. So we say the time is 6. Then we read the long hand, the minute hand. Where is it at? Here it is. Which number is it at? The number 3. So we say the time is a quarter past 6. Great work! How do we read the time
when the long hand, the minute hand, moves again and is now at the number 6? Let's find out. Let's look at this clock. What do you notice? Correct. The long hand or the minute hand is at the number 6. So, how do we read this? We will first look at the short hand or the hour hand. Which number is it at? Correct. At the number 1. So we say the time is 1. Where is the long hand or the minute hand? Here it is. Which number is it at? The number 6. So we read it as 6:30. So the time is 1:30. Great work! When the minute hand is at the 6, it is read as 1:30. Now, let's read this clock. Good job! First, we will look at the short hand, the hour hand. Which number is it at? Correct, the number 7. Then we will look at the long hand, the minute hand. Where is it? Here it is. Which number is it at? The number 6. So we say 1/2. The time is 7:30. Great work! Now we have learned how to read an analog clock. When the minute hand is at the 12, we read it as sharp. Look at this clock. How is it read? Correct. The time is 4 sharp. We say a quarter past when the minute hand is at the number 3. Look at this clock. How is it read? Correct. The time is a quarter past 1. And when the minute hand is at 6, we read it as 1/2. Look at this clock. How is it read? Good job. The time is 7:30.
What about this clock? What is its name? And how do we read time on this clock? Let's find out. This clock is called a digital clock because it's made of digits. How do we read this clock? First, we begin by reading this part of the clock. What is the number that appears on this side? Correct, the number 3. So we say 3. Then read the other part. What numbers appear on this side? There are 2 zeros, so we say sharp. The time is 3 sharp. Great! Now let's read this clock. Good job! We will first read this side of the clock. Which number appears on this side? Yes, the number 4. So we say the time is 4. Then we read the other side of the clock. Which numbers appear here? There are 2 zeros, so we say 4 sharp. The time is 4 sharp. Good work! How do we read the clock when these zeros change? Let's see. This clock has different numbers on the side. Which number is it? Correct, the number 15. Great! So how do we read this clock? First, we will read this part of the clock. Which number appears here? Correct, the number 1. So the time is 1. Then we read this part of the clock. Which numbers appear here? The number 15. So we say a quarter past. The time is a quarter past 1. This clock has a different number on the side. Which number is it? Correct. It's 30. So how would we read this clock? First, we will look at this part of the clock. Which number appears here? Yes, the number 7. So we say the time is 7. Now, we look at the other side of the clock. Which number is there? Yes, 30. So we say 1/2. The time is 7:30. Now, we have learned how to read a digital clock. So, when this part has 2 zeros, we read it as sharp. Look at this clock. How do we read it? Correct. The time is 4 sharp. And when this side has the number 15, we read it as a quarter past. Look at this clock. How is it read? Correct. The time is a quarter past 1. And when this side has the number 30, it is read as half past. Look at this clock. How do we read it? Correct. The time is 7:30. And so, my friends, together we learned about the types of clocks, the analog and the digital, how to distinguish between the hour hand and the minute hand, how to read an analog clock when the minute hand is at 12, and about the concept of a quarter past and a half past.